Welcome to Monks Alive. We've got a lot going on. We got several folks on the channel right now, and I want to do a few things. One of the things is to sort of share with you a snippet of what I'm going to be posting on my channel this Saturday. I'm sort of doing a wrap up or maybe a review or a look back at the Northeast Texas Trail. And with that, I tried to have some fun with it. So there's a little trick photography going on. I'm going to show that to you, and then we will introduce our guest of the week. Before I get into that, though, I do want to do some shout outs. I've got 3 channels that I want to shout out. First, I'm going over to the UK again. Des Greene. If you haven't checked his channel out, really recommend Des. A lot like Steve, which is a tramp in the hills. Steve, he walks around in the hills of the UK, and so does Des. Both of these channels, really great stuff. And then another couple that I really enjoy watching is Kuehl Kuest. So I will be putting the description of these channels down in the description of this video. But Kuehl Kuest, if you haven't checked them out, I'm sure you have, but they're a wonderful couple, a lot of fun. And then very good friend of mine, John, who is Senior Hiker 77. I've hiked several times with John. Wish I could be where I could hike with him more. He hikes there in Georgia where he lives, and when I moved out to Kansas, it sort of messed that up a little bit. But Senior Hiker 77 is an inspiration to a lot of folks. He's an inspiration to me, and I really highly recommend you checking his channel out. All right. Well, those are the shout outs for this week. Again, I'll put their links in the description of this video. Check out Des Greene, check out Kuehl Kuest, and Senior Hiker 77. Well, as we get into this, there's another channel that you ought to check out. There's a guy that has become a friend of mine, and we have so many things in common. As we were just talking this week, it surprised me just how many things we have in common. And Max is a great guy, and he lives in Wyoming in a beautiful place. And I'm going to bring him on right after this. But trains still carry goods across an active railroad track. And there's something magical about trains. Sometimes they appear from nowhere. The rolling cars are just mesmerizing. And just like that, they're gone again. But the fun isn't only on the trail. There are sights to see in the travels to and from the hike. I saw the Traders Depot on my way down to Texas. I want to stop on my way back because I got to show you all this. This is just Oklahoma at its finest, and I love it. Let me walk out through here. See some of the things that are happening. We got a train going on here. This is a whole little town, but it's being attacked. The dinosaurs up here eating the Kiowa, Oklahoma Trading Post water tower. They had a total jailbreak out. So long, Oklahoma. To enjoy a little bit of life in the saloon, complete with swinging doors. How about that? This is great stuff. I love it. That old used to be. It's all here. All right. Well, it's all there. Oklahoma is a great place. Hey, Max, good to have you here.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
You keeping come warm down there, Dan?
Oh, we're toasty compared to you.
Yeah,
We're 25 degrees.
Well, yeah, we're minus 10 right now. We're minus 24 last night. Oh boy.
Oh,
yeah, well, I'm about done. I'm about done with winter.
It's only not even February yet.
I know, and I'm done with it.
Oh goodness. How have you been doing up until when did this cold snap come in?
What was that?
When did the cold come in?
About 2 days ago, and last night we got minus 26 last night. The night before was minus 10, which wasn't near as bad.
Oh my. Yeah. We had a snap back in December where we had some sub-zero temperatures for about 5 days. And I'd had enough of that. I was ready to go back to North Carolina.
Yeah, winter's bad enough for me, but when it gets sub-zero, you can have it.
Yeah, I agree. So, what's on your radar?
What's on my radar? Well, I don't know. Try to weather the storm, I guess. We also got 8 inches of snow, which I could have done without too.
I watched Al Chaf's video. He lives in Newfoundland, and they got snow there, and he was post-holing through the snow as he was trying to hike up. He said he needed snowshoes, but he didn't have any. So, yeah.
I ought to send him mine. I rarely use them.
Oh my! Well,
winter's not my favorite time of year. Not by a long shot.
Yeah. You live in such a beautiful place.
It is that. That's why I suffer the winters, because the summers are so beautiful.
Yeah. So tell folks a little bit about where you live there in Wyoming. Was I right? Is it north of the Wind River Range?
It's about north central in the state. I live to the west side of the Bighorn Mountains, which is one of my favorite places to hike, and live in the Bighorn Basin, in between the Bighorn Mountains, the Beartooth Mountains, Wind River Mountains, and the Owl Creek Mountains to the south.
Okay.
So I'm surrounded pretty much by mountains.
All right. That would be nice. And you're talking about mountains.
What's that?
And you're talking about mountains. I mean, what's the height of those things?
What's their condition?
No, the elevation. The elevation of
the elevation. The Bighorns go up to 13,200. Wind Rivers, not sure, because I've never even hiked in the Wind Rivers, and they're only about 100 miles to the south of me. And been up in the Beartooth Mountains, and I think the Beartooth goes up to about 14,000. I'm not sure. It might be also 13,000.
Okay. I'm getting folks saying that my mic is a little low and yours is a little high, but I'm telling you guys, I don't really know how to do this. So let me see if I can
Oh,
crank mine up.
okay.
Is that any better? Cranked it up a lot.
Oh, yeah. I can hear you better now.
Okay, and let me crank it up just a tad more. All right, very good.
That's very good. Now,
All right.
and I got headphones on too, so I can hear because I'm hard of hearing anyway. So,
Okay, yeah. Well, we were talking this week. Now you were in the military, so you're a veteran. But
yes, sir.
Tell about that just a little bit.
About the Army?
No, your military service.
Well, that's the Army.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I went into the Army back in the 70s and went in as a tank crew member. And when I got done with basic, they decided that I had asthma as a child. So they said, okay, we don't need you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, was peacetime Army then. And they said, okay, you had asthma as a child. We don't want to take the risk that we put you in an environment that you're going to get problems. So they let me go. So I got into law enforcement and did that for 32 years.
Yeah.
And never had any trouble with my asthma.
You know, it's amazing how things change. You said it was peacetime Army. My dad, he was in the Navy during World War II, and he said that their physical, the way they did their physical was that one doctor got on each end, and they told him to bend over, and then they told him to open his mouth, and one doctor would say, "Hey, I see you. Can you see me?" And he said, "Yep, I see you." And he said, "Okay, he's all right. Go ahead."
Yeah, it just left more room for them to fill it up.
Well, Dad was pretty full anyway of something. He always had some kind of story.
Yeah. Yeah, I never even got the chance to make PFC. I was just a private.
It's okay. That's okay.
But then after I did my law enforcement career, I went back and helped the Army out anyway. I went over to Iraq with them and worked as a contractor. So.
So, okay, let's just go with that for a second. What were you doing in Iraq?
I was a what they call a security specialist. But what I was doing was training Ugandan gate guards at a FOB.
Okay.
Forward operation bases. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I did over there. Did that. Train them and then supervise them on the gates.
Okay. So you trained and supervised. So,
yep.
And what were you doing in law enforcement?
In law enforcement? Well, I was a patrol sergeant and also worked as a SWAT team member.
And that's
for about 12 years doing that.
I said I like your hat, and then when I was looking at the emblem on it, it looked like a trident, and so you were explaining what that was. And what is that?
Yeah, it is a trident, but it's a trident for law enforcement SWAT teams.
Yeah, pretty awesome. You have a baseball cap with it on there too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got it all over the place. That's memories of when I had some youth.
Well, that's slipping away from a lot of us. Slipping away from
well,
us.
a little too quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now, I was watching one of your videos, and it sort of leads into the questions that was on the countdown. When I put the countdown on the videos before we get going, I try to put up 3 questions about sort of the theme of the week, and it sort of leads into the contest of the week. So if you looked and you asked, what do you mean a bat and a groundhog? And if you saw on my little thumbnail, I have a bat and a groundhog on there.
Yep.
I'm a groundhog, but you seem to be a bit of a bat.
A bit of a bat, but I'm also a little bit of a groundhog.
Okay. So why don't you tell folks what we're talking about, because I'm sure they are.
Okay. The bat being you hang from the trees, a hammock.
Yeah.
And the groundhog being you live on the ground.
There you are.
A tent.
Again, talking with my dad, he was mad at me when I went in the Army because he said, I thought of all my boys, and he had 6 boys. 5 of us went in the service and 1 went into ministry. So he went into a service far greater than ours. But of the 6 boys, he said, I really thought my youngest would at least go in the Navy. And I went in the Army. And I said, Dad, I don't swim that good. So I like being on the ground.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being on the ground. I like being on the ground, and I like sleeping in a hammock too. It depends on the situation that I'm in. If I've got a lot of trees, I'll take the hammock. And if I don't, I'll take a tent. I like them both equally.
Now around you, I can't say that really, because when I was in the Wind River Range, there were places with plenty of trees, so you could hammock there.
Yep.
And then you get up in elevation, of course, then you can't, because there's no, unless you're going to hang from rocks. I don't know how you do that.
No. Yeah. Well, the one hammock that I do have, the Haven XL, it is made so you can hang it from a tree to 2 trees, or you can set it up on the ground using hiking poles.
Yeah. That's amazing. Now, but that one's a little heavy, you said.
It is heavy. It goes about 6.5 pounds.
Yeah.
And I don't have a tent that's that heavy. Of course, that includes a sleeping pad that goes into that type of hammock. So that is some weight too. But if you don't have a sleeping pad in a hammock, you're going to need an underquilt, or otherwise you get cold.
Yeah. And that's what surprised me is that, I've always thought of an underquilt. I haven't ever thought about having the sleeping pad, the air mattress in there to give you some insulation. And you said they sort of guessed that to be an R4 kind of pad. Yeah,
they say that, but I don't think it is. I don't think it quite makes that. I put a piece of Reflectix underneath that, and also put a sleeping bag liner over top of the pad. So, and then sometimes I still get cold.
Well, yeah.
Well, and I'm a cold sleeper to begin with, so.
I am if my feet get cold. If my feet get cold, I'm wasted. So, yeah.
Yep.
But otherwise, I sort of like my face, and I'll put my face outside of my sleeping bag. I got a mummy bag. I put my face outside of it to let it get cold when it's 20 degrees out. but I'm not going
Yeah.
out there when it's 10 below.
Oh, no, you won't catch me out there when it's 30.
Oh
No,
my. Oh
no.
my.
I had one morning I woke up in my hammock. I woke up and it was 38 degrees and I was freezing.
Oh my. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My
I'm good.
coldest night when I started the Appalachian Trail, my coldest night out was actually in southern North Carolina. Yeah, southern North Carolina. I just crossed over the state line, and that night it was 18 degrees.
Ooh,
My sleeping bag
no,
is a
no.
17-degree sleeping bag, but that's your survival rating. You know, it's really
Yeah,
comfortable at 27 degrees. But
yeah.
I layer up. I do layer up when I go and use it, and I'm fine. I'm toasty with it.
Not me. I don't have a warm blood cell in my body.
So how did you get to Wyoming?
Well, because I like the mountains.
Well, there you are.
Yeah,
There you are.
that and that's where the job was when I moved out here.
Yeah.
It was law enforcement. That's what brought me out here, and the mountains kept me here.
They are beautiful.
In the desert.
Yeah.
I like the desert too. So,
It's
and we
beautiful.
call Badlands here, but
Yeah. So we've got some Badlands in Kansas. It's called Little
you do.
Jerusalem. And I'm looking forward to going out to Little Jerusalem State Park where the Kansas Badlands are at and doing a video from there this summer too. But I'm going to wait till this summer.
Yeah. I like to go out in the Badlands here because they're close. They're close to the house. But one thing with going out here is there are no water sources out there. You got to take all your water with you. So I'm always heavy on the water when I go out there.
Wow, that's tough. That's tough. There's a couple of trails in Texas where you have to cache water if you're going to hike them. So yeah, that's we take our water for granted sometimes on different trails.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm guilty of in the winter. If I do go out in the winter, I don't drink enough. You don't feel thirsty, so you don't drink, but you have to.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm bad about that.
Well, that's one of the things. I commanded Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, when I was still on active duty, and it's up in snow country. We would get about 200 inches a year of snow, and we were training soldiers and sailors, airmen, Marines. We were training everyone to go to Iraq and Afghanistan, and we had a visit from the 1st Army commanding general, 3-star general. I won't say his name. He was a jerk, so I won't say his name. But he was complaining. He said, "Why are we sending soldiers to you to train to go to the desert?" And I said, "You do realize that all of the same precautions you have to take to survive in extreme cold weather is the same precautions you take to survive in the desert. And one of it being hydration. You have to watch yourself. And the difference is in the desert, we knew we were thirsty. Yeah, I could never quench my thirst over there. Just was constantly drinking. And my brother Rick, he teases me now.
Was I. Was I when I was in Iraq. Always drinking. That's one thing
Yes.
we had to keep an eye on the Ugandans because they were from a little bit more humid climate than the desert, and we had to keep on them to keep drinking because, well, we had a couple of them just out there on duty and pass out and fall down.
Well,
that hydration is very important. Any outdoor activity.
Yeah. My brother still teases me because we'll go hiking, and I drink a lot. I drink a lot of water, and he teases me about it. But I think I never quenched my thirst the whole time I was in the desert. I don't think I ever quenched my thirst. The other thing was ice cream. I never could eat enough ice cream. I loved ice cream. I still do.
I love ice cream all the time.
Yeah.
That's a family addiction.
Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you were going to tell someone a place to hike there in Wyoming, where would you recommend that they go?
The Bighorn Mountains. The trails don't get as much use in the Bighorns as they do in a lot of other places because it's a small mountain range and people pass through it and they don't do much else. But I kind of like it that way because there ain't so many people on the trail. You get more solitude.
Yeah. Which is another thing we have in common, to go out on the trail and find solitude.
Yep.
Yeah.
And quiet.
Oh my. Yes. I do like it. I enjoy being with people, but I also enjoy being out on the trail.
Absolutely.
But I'm getting to the age where my wife doesn't like for me to go solo anymore. She really wants me to hike.
Yeah, that's why I got a locator, because the wife was concerned that there was no contact between us, because in the Bighorns there's no cell signal anywhere up there.
Oh my! Well, where else have you hiked or visited besides there?
Ohio, where I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah, I did some hiking in Ohio. Not anything that anybody would know. It was local areas, and me and my friends, we would just go out in the woods and we'd take a can of soup with us, make a fire, heat it up. We thought that was great. And then we'd hike all over the place. There was a big strip mine where I grew up, and we'd walk all along that thing. That thing must have been 5-6 miles long, and we'd walk all the way around it.
Well, there's
and I just fell in love with the outdoors, and then when I got to Wyoming, love at first sight.
Living the dream.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't live anywhere else now.
Yeah. Well, do you have any thoughts or plans for the year coming up?
Not really. Just try to get out more than I did last year. Last year, I had too many medical issues that kept me at home. And of course, it was during the two best months of the season, June and July.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I finally did get out for one camp last year in September. That was it. And a couple of small hikes in the Badlands, and that's all I got done last year. I hope to do much better than that this year.
Yeah, yeah. I would sure like to get out there and do something with you.
Well, if you ever get out this way, you just let me know.
Okay, I will. You know, Nicole hikes a lot. She's on the channel right now, and she goes into Utah and Arizona, some beautiful places. But she really wants to go back up, or wants to go to Wind River Range, where I've done a couple of times. I'd like to go with them, but then I'd like to sneak on up past Wind River Range to where you're at and do something. So we'll keep working on that.
Yeah. Yeah, Nicole really likes that Utah desert.
She does.
She really loves that place. That's a beautiful place. That's a beautiful place. I need to get over there. And that's not too far from me either.
No. I sit there and look at some of those pictures, and it's almost like they're painted there. I mean, it doesn't look like it's really rough.
Yeah, she has been to some beautiful places over there.
Yeah.
And that's why she keeps going back, and I don't blame her.
Oh goodness. Well, we're also, you know, I was at Isle Royal this past year, planning on going back to Isle Royal again too. So it's a neat place, and I mean, there's just so many beautiful places around.
Oh yeah, and I don't go very far from home. I go to the Bighorns and I go to the Badlands. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, I want to get over there to Utah sometime before I kick the bucket, but you don't know.
Well, no,
you just don't know.
Well, I hope you can get over there and see it. I want to get over there and see it too. Yeah. I had planned on going to Sedona this year, but we had some medical things come up, and that's one of the reasons I'm not going to be hiking in February. I've got some medical stuff that I got to take care of, and so I did a survey on what kind of videos folks want to see, and about 70% want to see. I'm planning to sort of hike through and document the Cherokee Trail that comes up out of Oklahoma and through Kansas and over to the Santa Fe Trail and went out to California.
Well, that sounds interesting.
The history of it's fascinating, and so I'm looking forward to that. And then about 30% wanted to see what kind of audio visual gear that I've got for this year, because I've changed out everything. I've changed out my cameras. I've changed out my audio equipment. I've changed out my computer system. So those are the videos that I've got coming up to share with folks.
Yeah. Well, I got a new camera this year, but my computer's the same. It's old and cantankerous like its owner.
Well, I hope you're the owner and not somebody else. So.
That's me. Old and cantankerous.
Oh my. Very good. Well, are you working on anything right now, or just relaxing?
No, not right now. I hope to get out and up in the canyon it's sometime in February to do a snowshoe or just go up the old highway that cuts off, goes up through the Ten Sleep Canyon, and walk up that. I'll probably need my snowshoes to do it because they got a ton of snow up there this year. Oh, really? And the road is closed. It's closed in the winter, and it's also closed off the snowmobiles, so it does not get packed down, except for the few cross-country skiers that use it.
Okay. Yeah, that would be. It's still something I really hope I don't have to deal with this year.
Yeah, that canyon is really, really pretty. And it's pretty in the winter because the snow's just hanging off the sides of the canyon. It's one of my favorite places is the Ten Sleep Canyon.
Okay.
And it runs between. What's that?
No, go ahead. It runs between.
Oh, the canyon runs between Ten Sleep and the top of the mountain, and it is just it's just a beautiful canyon. I have yet to camp in the canyon, and I need to do that too.
That'd be neat. Yeah, that would be nice. I'm getting a little antsy to get back out and get back in my tent.
Yes, I'm antsy to get out, but I don't want to deal with the dang cold.
Oh my!
Oh well. You know, somebody that lives in Wyoming and doesn't like the cold, it'd be just as bad as living in Alaska and hating the cold.
Oh yeah. I love the idea of it, but I don't know that I would love it to be there. You know, this Alabama boy. That was the thing. The Army has a wicked sense of humor. Out of 30 years, they never stationed me in the South. I grew up in Alabama. I love warm weather, and they never stationed me in the South.
Never.
Well, I take that back. I did. I was stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, but it was only there for a year. I thought I'd be there for 2 years, and they jerked me out of there after a year. So, and sent me up north to Pennsylvania. So, just there you are.
Oh well. At least they didn't put you in Alaska.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They threatened to a couple of times.
They threatened to. Oh, we're going to send you to the Arctic, boy.
Michael said he got stuck at Fort Hood for the whole time. I liked Fort Hood. I really did. It was a lot of good folks there, a lot of great training. You know, it was some crazy stories from there. It's a big place.
Yeah, I was at Knox, Fort Knox.
Okay. Well, yeah. Now, Ken, who's PTL or Be Still on the Trail, Ken, he's talking about hopes he goes to Black Canyon. Ken, are you planning on doing that as part of your vacation when you come out this way, or? And then Mike says that he was there at Fort Hood. It's nice to go to Austin on the weekends. Or I like to go down to San Antonio. I love San Antonio. But, yeah.
I'd like to hike just about any place in Texas. That would be wonderful.
The Northeast Texas Trail was interesting. It was the first 30 miles of it was a lot of fun, and then it was like they quit taking care of the trail, so it turned into more like bushwhacking than anything. And
yeah, I saw that on your video.
Yeah, I mean,
not very well cared for, that trail. Jeez.
The first part of it really is, and then they tell me that, you know, after Paris, from Paris to New Boston, it's very well cared for. Now, I've got to go back and test that theory out and see if that's true.
Yeah. But, those bridges you were crossing, those trestles, I was just like, Oh, why can't they put some planking down on that?
I tell you, the ones that I showed you, those were the good ones.
Yeah.
Those were the good ones.
Those are the good ones. They didn't look that good to me.
There were 5 others that I put the camera away because I needed to focus on where I was going to step.
I would be, because I'm not crazy about heights anyway. So.
You'd only fall about 15, 20 feet.
That's enough to kill you. You land on a rock, that'll do you.
I would certainly probably break something, especially now. But yeah, very fun. Very fun.
Yeah. It probably wouldn't kill me. It would probably just disable me so I could lay there and think about it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ken is planning on coming out my way. Be Still on the Trail is planning on coming out my way and hiking through the Elk River Trail, which I've done a couple of times. And it's about a 15-mile trail. It's not a real long one, but it's a challenging one. It has some of the neatest rock formations and boulder scrambles. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Ken, if you have any questions, holler at me. And also, I was supposed to be gone the end of April when they're going to come out here, and it sounds like I will be here. So if you guys would like to have some company, I would be glad to meet y'all and hike the Elk River Trail with you. So I don't want to impose, but I'm available. So yeah, and Joe's online, and he said LJ's his wife, and she loves San Antonio. Yeah, it's a great place. So the Riverwalk, there's a couple of great restaurants there. Great barbecue, Texas barbecue, which is real barbecue. All right. Well, Max, I do appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me. It's really good to have you.
It's been a ball. I thank you for having me.
Oh, this has been good. And again, folks, you need to check him out. Check out Max's channel. Subscribe to him. Ken says they're planning on an overnight 2-day hike. I got to ask you real quick, Ken, are you just going one way, or are you planning on going up and back? Yes, Texas barbecue. North Carolina barbecue is better? I don't think so, Michael. I like Texas. I don't even like it better than Alabama barbecue. But that's okay. I'm not eating it for you. So I got to announce the winner, and one way is the plan. Okay, yeah, Ken, that's good. I got to announce the winner from last week. And Max, the way this thing works is that people will make their submissions. They'll either send them to me on my email at dan@wanderingmonkhikes.com. That's my preferred, because if it's in the comments, it's hard for me to always find them. But or if you want to comment on the channel, that's fine too. But if you can, send your submissions to dan@wanderingmonkhikes.com. But first, I got to announce last week's winner, because the question was, what is your favorite trail? And the guy that answered, I mean, they're great submissions, everybody, but the one that described why he likes his trail the most was Jason from All Terrains Coffee and Camping. So Jason, congratulations. You are the winner of the Monks Alive Challenge contest, and you will be receiving one of my stickers. a letter from me, and you will be going on the wall of winners that's in the description of my channel. His favorite trail is the Burkhead Mountain. It's there in North Carolina, and specifically there's a loop trail that goes to camp number 3. And I've hiked that many times. When I lived in North Carolina, if I needed to get away, in fact, in the midst of the COVID shutdown, I went there just because I had to get out. And I hiked. That was my first time to go to Burkhead Mountain. Burkhead Mountain is an old mountain in the Uwharrie mountain range. It has 3 gold mines, the shafts of 3 gold mines, abandoned gold mines that are still there on that old mountain. It was the place where I would test out gear, but it was also the place that I just went to escape, sort of my solitude. And if you go back and look at my Halloween video from 3 years ago, it was there on Burkhead Mountain, and had a lot of fun with it. But there's a red wolf. It's a very rare endangered species in North Carolina, the red wolf. But there was a red wolf that circled my tent all night long that night. And howling, and sadly no one ever howled back. So there's that poor wolf was alone. And so great place. Yes, Burkheads are beautiful. All the Uwharrie Uwharrie mountains are just wonderful to be there. So again, all terrain, you are the winner. And for next week's challenge, what will happen is I'll get those submissions. I'll send them to you, Max, and I need you to select who's going to be the winner. So the pressure's on you, brother. The pressure's on you.
Yeah.
If folks watched the countdown at the beginning of the show before we ever went live, if the time was counting down, there were 3 questions. The first question was, how well do you sleep on the trail? Usually I sleep good the third. It takes me 3 nights to get out there to get my first good night's sleep. Then I'm so tired of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to having white noise when I sleep at home, running a fan. And then when I get out, it's so quiet.
Oh yeah.
You have a heck of a time falling asleep.
Yeah.
So I always miss the sunrise because I'm sleeping.
Oh no! I love the sunrise.
I don't fall asleep till the sun starts coming up, and then I fall asleep.
The second question was, what do you want in a campsite?
Water and a view.
There you go. I'm with you. I watched Hickory. They call me Hickory. He did the Appalachian Trail. He did the through hike 2 years ago. Same time that PTL did it. But Hickory, he would grade the campsites. He'd give them a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or a 10, or a 1. But he was looking for water. He was looking for flat land. He was looking for a view. He had a whole criteria. So, yeah, I'm with you. Third question is, do you sleep in a hammock or a tent?
Both.
And you sleep in both?
Both.
I sleep in a hammock or in a tent. I don't sleep in a hammock, but I'm going to try it. Yeah. You inspired me to try a hammock.
Well, I'll tell you, if they're a little expensive, but if you want a flat lay instead of having to sleep diagonally in a hammock to get a flat lay, that Haven XL is great. Now it's heavy. You're not going to take it on a long hike, but if you're just going out to camp, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's like sleeping in a tent.
That's neat. That's neat. Because I tell you, you don't always find flat ground out on the trail.
Yeah. That's another thing nice about a hammock too, because if it's raining, you don't have to worry about getting wet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to soak through the bottom because you're not even on the ground.
Yeah. I got a buddy that McIntyre, he's an avid hammock sleeper, and he's tried to get me to try his hammock. So I may have to get it from him and try it. Yeah.
Well, I like them both. Both are great as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Well, here's the contest question, and this is the contest question for everyone who wants to get a shot at going on the Wall of Winners. What is your preferred shelter and why? What is your preferred shelter and why do you like it? So please submit your answers to me. Again, you can either email me at dan@wanderingmonkhikes.com. You can comment on here. I'll be looking for your comments and your emails. And then, Max, I'll get those to you. And then that way, I don't have to take the heat for not getting the right one.
Yeah. Well, I have to peruse them very carefully.
Yeah, I'm sure you will come up with a ranking system, and you.
And I'll take the heat. Nobody likes me anyway. So.
Oh goodness. Well, I don't think that's true. I like you.
I'm kidding.
There's a lot of fun. All right. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everyone that's here. The one thing that I wish that I could do is just interact more, and I got to figure out a way of doing that. I got this Nightbot
You're
thing.
You're doing a good job of it here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying because I really appreciate everybody coming in. One of these days, I'm going to try what Al Chafe tried, and I'm just going to put up the link and say, if you want to come on, and we'll have fun talking. But I'm just not there yet. I'm just not there. So, all righty.
It'll turn into a circus.
Well, but those are fun. I tell you, if you watch, whether Al or I love to watch Devil Dog. I love to watch Dave Collier and their channels. Although Devil Dog, he does a good job of sort of monitoring it more, so it's less of a free for all. But I don't think I'm just not there yet. I'm just not that comfortable with it. So, maybe we'll start with
I'd have a hard time keeping track of that, and that would be tough. But
yep.
So
I love to watch them. They're good. They're really good at it. So
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go.
All right.
My stomach's growling. I'm ready for some dinner.
All right. It's been great to be here. It really has.
Thank you so much for coming. We're going to do this again. I really am looking forward to trying to get out to see you so that we could do even a short, whatever you want to do.
That'd be wonderful.
All right. Well, as we shut down, as always, my motto. Oh! Before we do, I've got to show some stuff. Let me show you guys something. This is I've got monk stuff. Monks don't do bling. We don't do bling. We're too simple, and we don't do merch. We just have stuff. And I got a couple of things that I do want to show folks. So let me show you some of the stuff. I've got this. Check this out. This is a wandering monk of water bottle. Of course, it says stay on the path. It has a lift up for your straw, and those are on my monk stuff. And then I have some coffee cups with again, stay on the path. So there on my store there is there's some t-shirts and pullovers and hats and all kinds of junk on there. But if you want monk stuff, it's out there for you. So that's my one pitch. I won't do that again. I just wanted to show it. It was fun to get
You
some
got to
stuff in
get
the
some
mail.
plugs in.
Well,
You got to get your plugs in.
I prefer just getting folks together. I love seeing people together and interacting. So
Make sure you
all
put
right.
a link down below so people can find that.
Okay. I think it was in. I had it set up so Nightbot would throw the links up there once in a while. So it's in there. It's also, if you look at my videos down at the bottom, you'll see you can scroll through all the monk stuff. All right, Mac, thank you again. And to sign off, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay on the path, and God bless you.